So the next thing we're going to see is the selection sort, a sorting algorithm that selects the smallest element from an unsorted list in each iteration and place that element at the beginning of the list. So what does that actually mean? So in selection sort, how selection algorithm works by, we're going to repeatedly find the minimum element from the unsorted portion of the array and place it in the beginning of the array. So in each pass, the minimum element is selected and swapped with the element at the current position. So that's what we're going to do. So if I say what approach you're going to apply is, we're going to take, nums, that is array is going to be there, that need to be sorted. So we're going to take the length of that array and we're going to use two nested loop to perform the selection sort. Then we're going to run the outer loop till n-1 iteration and inner loop till starts from I plus 1. Inner loop will be n-1 and that is going to start from 0 and is going to start from I plus 1, because from the next element we're going to take, right, to find the minimum element in the unsorted portion, because we consider first element to be sorted in selection sort. It means if first element is sorted, then I plus 1 is the from there unsorted element is there. Now we're going to do what? We'll initialize min index with the current index I value. So we'll assume that first element that we took, that is what? Every time, that time is going to be what? It's going to be sorted element. And after that, we're going to compare num of, that j with the min index with the inner loop. If that is smaller or something, then we're going to update the minimum index. If the first element is not smaller and we compared with that element that is smaller, that time we'll update with that, and we will keep on moving the for loop this way. The complexity is going to be O of n squared, because we're going to use two for loop for this. So this is going to be there. So let's go to jump to the VS Code and try to implement this in VS Code. Thank you. Now we're going to create the selection sort class .java. So this will create the selection sort class. I'll delete it. Okay. Now we came over here. We'll do one thing, that is I'm going to write public static void and the main method. So the main method, I write main, and here I'm going to give string of array and argument is there. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write int of, I'm going to take the array. So array name is, let's say, nums. All right. So what I'm going to take, same again, going to say 5 3 8 2 1 4. If I take this as the input of the array, now I'm going to call this selection sort function. So SELECTION selection sort function, I called it, and I'll pass the array also in it. So I pass the array, and this function I have to define it means. All right, here I'll write the system dot out dot print. I'll not print ln, I'll not write. Previously we did that. So here we'll say sorted array is, and this is going to be the sorted array. All right, now I'll come down over here and I'm going to again write the for each loop. You know that for every num variable in the nums array, we're going to print the num. So I'll write what? System dot out dot println, not println, because it's going to go to the next line. So I'm write print, and I'm going to write num, and I'll concatenate and I'll give some space over here, so it will print that. Now this is over. Now I'm going to go to the selection sort, that function we're going to make. So what function we're going to make? We're going to write it private, let's say static void selection sort, right? Selection sort function we have created. Okay, here we'll pass the array that we have taken. So int array and array name, let's say what is going to take? Nums, nums. Okay, so this we have taken. Now what we have to do, we will take the length, int n equals to nums dot length, and we're going to take a for loop, and in this for loop what we're going to do, I'm going to start from int I equals to 0, I less than, it is going to go till n-1, that we already know. Okay, I plus plus. Now what extra thing we have to do over here is we will consider the first element to be the minimum index. Like we will take one variable that is min index. index. So this mean index means we're going to consider it as I. It means first, that is I equals to 0 is going to be what? That's we have considered this 5 to be sorted, and we're going to check from 5. We'll compare 5 3 and 5, similarly we're going to compare, all right, and we going to see and swap it if it is not. So we are considering first element to be that is what? That is sorted. And after that, if that is not in the sorted position, we will update the minimum index. So I'll write a for loop again, and in that for loop int j equals to I plus 1, because if this element is sorted, it means this from here we have to start, isn't it? We have to do the comparison from there. So here I'll write j till n, it will run. Okay, and what we'll do is j plus plus updation is going to happen. All right, now here I'm going to compare it. So I'll compare nums of j with nums of min index. Okay, what I am comparing with, this j value, it means 3 I am comparing with 5. Now if I compare 3 with 5, which is smaller? 3 is the smaller, right? So if 3 is smaller, then we have to update the index, because we consider this index, 0th index, to be minimum. You can see from here, right? But that is not true, isn't it? So we have to update, because we are checking with 3 and 5, because you see I plus 1 we are doing, isn't it? So here we are comparing with that. So we will do what? Min index is going to be update with j value. All right, this will do a task. Okay, now this will go on until that end. Now here we're going to do what? Here we will swap it. Swap the minimum element with the current element, because we have to get the minimum element at the first, because the minimum element is now updated. So swap the minimum element with the current element. Okay, now what I have to do is I'll write int temp equals to nums of I, and nums of I, that is going to be equal to what? Nums of min index, right? Because we want to swap between min index and that. So I'll write min index. Okay, and what I have to do is I have to, okay, here I have to declare this, otherwise it will give error. So okay, I already declared it, right? So what I have to do is, okay, so this is getting out of scope, because after for loop we have to do, so what we have to do is we have to write inside this for loop. I have written outside that for loop. That is not going to happen, all right, because we have to swap it also, right? Okay, now it's all good. So num of I, here we're going to write nums of what? Min index, and that is going to be equal to what? We're going to give the value from the temp. All right, now this is all about. I'll hit Control S and I will run this code. So after running the code, it's going to give the desired result, whatever we wanted. See, it is getting sorted in the correct order. All right, so this is what selection sort is. Next up, we're going to see the different sorting algorithm, that is insertion sort. Then we're going to see quick sort, merge sort, each and everything we're going to see one by one. So thank you.